What are the root causes of division and disunity in the workplace? As we get rolling into this, I want you to give yourself a grade on a scale of 1 to 10. Grade your team, your immediate team, on your current culture of unity. So give yourself a grade. 1 is not good at all. 10 is like, hey, we're heading in the right direction. We couldn't be doing any better. On a scale of 1 to 10, give your team a grade on your current culture of unity. Now here's a tough question. What is your team's current culture of unity costing your organization? So if you gave yourself a grade of an 8, what's the difference between an 8 and a 10, and what's that costing the organization? If you gave yourself a 5, what's the difference between a 5 and a 10, or a 5 and an 8? And what's that costing your organization? This is a tough question because it's not a clear-cut answer, but it does really, really matter, especially on your specific team. This is what we're talking about right now. So I want you to zoom out just a little bit now, the same question, but for your department, not just your immediate team. On a scale of 1 to 10, grade your department's culture of unity. And culture, remember, culture is the way we do what we do and the way we allow it to be done. So the way you treat each other and the way you allow each other to be treated. The way we talk about each other and the way we allow someone else to talk about someone else on our team. Like that's it's a great picture of what we're trying to look at in your organization, in the locker room of your organization. So we talked about your team. Now we're going to zoom out a little bit to your department. What's your department's current culture of unity costing the organization? So what grade would you give your department? And then what is that grade on a scale of 1 to 10? What's it costing the organization? And then we're going to zoom out one more time. So we started with your team, then we zoomed out to your department. Now we're going to zoom out one more time for the entire organization on a scale of 1 to 10. Give your organization a grade for the culture of unity on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, my question is, what is that culture of unity? What's it costing the organization? It's not a fun question to answer, but it's very relevant. It's very necessary. And the organizations that lean in and answer these tough questions, they're the ones who are going to move forward, not only just surviving, but thriving in more ways than one. And a lot of times it feels like we take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, or maybe 3 or 4 steps forward and then some steps back as well. That's okay. That's actually normal because we're moving forward. It's not a switch that you flip off or on like a light switch. It's a dial that you turn up, kind of like a dimmer switch. We're going to turn up the heat, turn up the fire, turn up the gas on it, turn up the intensity and the intentionality on your current culture of unity, because this is such a huge thing. Now, culture is the way we do what we do and the way we allow it to be done. And what we've just done, we've applied culture to internal communication. With internal communication, we have 5 different layers. It's just like concentric circles. You start in the center, and that's you, your individual self. Everyone who works in your organization, you're telling yourself a story about what's happening, your perception, your perspective about what's happening in the organization. And then you zoom out one level to level 2, and that's your team, your immediate team. Then you go out another level, and that's your department. Then you go out to level 4, internal communication, and that's interdepartmental. So that's when the customer service team, how they interact with the sales team, or how the sales team interact with IT. Like all those, every different department, how they're functioning towards another department in your organization. That's level 4 on internal communication. And then you zoom all the way out to level 5, which is the entire organization. It's the 30,000 foot view. For organizations that dive into this conversation, they're the ones who are going to see what's right, what's wrong, and what's missing, and they're going to be able to evaluate it and then make the necessary changes to continue to move forward. Now, this matters to you because you're in business, you're in a nonprofit, you're in the organization you're in to make the greatest impact you could possibly make. And in order for us to do that, we want to look at this culture and see what's your current culture of unity in your organization. What does it look like? And then what's it costing your organization? This is exactly the reason why When my team and I partner with organizations, we solve the problem of division and disunity in the workplace, because we don't know everything about what you do, but we do know people. And we know that organizations don't drift towards unity. They must be led there. And they're led there every day in every way by you, me, everyone who works in our organization. So that's why this is such a huge thing. In every video we shoot, every book that we write, every lesson that we teach, every session that we do in public, every conference, every workshop we do comes down to solving the problem of division and disunity, because those problems matter because you matter. We want to do everything we can to walk this walk with you as you're doing the thing that you're built to do.